I, 28M, have always been the reliable one in my family. I'm the guy who stayed behind to help my father with his landscaping business while my sister, 26F, moved to the city to find herself on my parents' dime. I'm the one who spent years living in a tiny apartment, working 60-hour weeks to build my own architectural consultancy. I finally saved enough to buy my dream house, a mid-century fixer-upper on 4 acres of land. It's a foreclosure and a total restoration project, but it's mine. Everything went south at a family dinner last Sunday. My sister has been dating this guy for 6 months, a total trust fund type whose dad owns a private equity firm. They got engaged 2 weeks ago and are already in full bridezilla mode. My sister told the table they found the perfect legacy venue for their June wedding, my new house. I told her no. The place is a construction zone. The deck is a skeleton, and the interior is down to the studs. I have clients meeting me there. My sister didn't even argue. She just laughed and said, "It's not like you're ever going to use it for a wedding of your own. You're a workhorse. You're the guy people hire, not the guy people marry. You're just not wedding material." My parents actually agreed with her, saying the house was wasted on a bachelor like me. I walked out, thinking that was it. But the next morning, I found a structural engineer and a tent rental rep on my property. My sister was there with a clipboard. She told me my father gave her the emergency key to the gate. When I threatened to call the police, she sneered and told me my father owned 10% of the property because he gave me $20,000 toward the down payment. That was a lie. That money was a repayment for 5 years of free labor I gave his business, and there was no equity agreement. 2 days later, my father's lawyer sent a letter. He was suing me for a partition of property, claiming our verbal partnership gave him a 50% stake. It was a predatory move to freeze my permits and force me to let my sister use the house. They even started fabricating meeting minutes to prove this fake partnership. The entitlement was off the charts. My sister started posting on social media about her family estate wedding, while my father told me he'd drop the suit if I'd just signed a usage waiver. I realized they weren't just after venue. They were trying to steal half my equity. But I keep records of everything. I had security cameras with audio hidden around the property. I invited them over for a peace talk, where they completely hung themselves. On camera, my sister admitted to booking bulldozers for a property she didn't own, and my father admitted the lawsuit was a shakedown to get what they wanted. The fiancé even joked about accelerating the inheritance. I didn't fold. I found out the fiancé's father's firm was under a federal audit and wouldn't handle a public fraud scandal well. I also knew my father's municipal landscaping contracts had moral turpitude clauses. On the night of a big high society gala they were attending, I sent the recordings of their confession to the fiancé's father, the city ethics committee, and a local social columnist. The fallout was instant. The fiancé's father kicked them out of the gala and threatened to disinherit his son. My father's city contracts were flagged for review. But the best part was the legal side. The judge saw the video of them admitting to the shakedown, denied their injunction, and referred my mother and sister for criminal perjury because of the false affidavits they signed. Then came the final blow. I remembered that years ago, my father put his business, warehouse, in an LLC to hide it from creditors, and he made me the 51% managing member. He'd totally forgotten. I walked into his office and gave him a 30-day notice to vacate. I'm evicting his business from the land I technically control. My father is losing his business, my sister's wedding is canceled, and she's a social pariah facing charges. They're calling me heartless, but I'm just a workhorse who knows how to clear the weeds. My house is finally quiet, and the renovations are coming along beautifully. Since my sister didn't think I was wedding material, I guess I'll just have to settle for being owning everything you ever cared about material. Subscribe if you want to see more entitled family members get a reality check they can't afford.